There is troubling news tonight about the system designed to keep air travel safe in this country. It has to do with the no-fly list, a list of people deemed to be too much of a security risk to be allowed on a plane. Global News has uncovered evidence no doesn't always mean no. A last-minute appeal can be made at the airport, and a bureaucrat at Transport Canada can use their discretion to let the person board. Sources tell Global News it has happened, and they're deeply worried about it. Our Ottawa Bureau Chief Jacques Bourbeau has our report tonight.
Canada's no-fly list is not as clear-cut as you may think. In fact, it could more properly be called the maybe-you-can-fly list. Global News has learned that even if you are on the list, there is a possibility you will be allowed to get on a plane. And that makes no sense to critics.
What is the no-fly list? It's either something which identifies people who are genuine threats and keeps them off flights, or it's not. And I don't understand how we can have this secondary process that's overruling what's supposed to be the key to aviation safety.
So how does the system allow someone on the no-fly list to board a plane? The decision to put someone on the list is made by a special advisory group made up of officials from CSIS, the RCMP, and various government departments. If you're on the list and you show up at an airport, the airline has to contact Transport Canada, and an official there makes a last-minute decision whether to keep you off the plane or not. If an individual on the specified person list does not pose an immediate threat, they may be permitted to board a flight, Transport Canada told us, and sources tell Global News this has happened.
It's illogical.
But a former CSIS officer says for a no-fly list to make any sense, there shouldn't be a last-minute review.
It's the worst situation. It's the worst time, and it's where usually mistakes are made. Because based on that moment where you're under pressure and very time-sensitive situation, you might rush into a situation where you have not all the facts.
We asked the Transport Minister to explain how this policy makes sense. Lisa Raitt admits it doesn't.
The specifics of officials giving permission to people who are validly on a no-fly list that we have placed them on is something that I'll ask my officials back in Ottawa. I have no knowledge of it, but I appreciate you bringing it to my attention because it's clearly not what we anticipate or expect in the Government of Canada.
Now, Transport Canada says if someone on the no-fly list is allowed to board an airplane, precautions may be taken to ensure the safety of that flight. But Transport Canada won't say what those precautions might be. Donna?
Not very reassuring. Jacques, other countries have no-fly lists too, including the United States. What did they tell you? Does no mean no there?
Well, the short answer is yes. I spoke to a U.S. official who was very categorical, saying that if you do find yourself on the U.S. no-fly list, there are no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no way you'll be boarding any plane that will enter U.S. airspace, which is quite the difference to the Canadian policy. Donna?
All right, Jacques Bourbeau in Ottawa, thanks.